And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday. Ooh, how was that preseason game last night, baby? Football is officially back. It wasn't the best game, but, it's the Hall of Fame game. First preseason game of the year. We'll take something. And we didn't have preseason games last season, so little bit of a bonus here. So we're going to break it down a little bit. The video is supposed to be up on Game Pass so we can kind of watch the entire thing, or just kind of what we, the plays that we do want to see and all that. Unfortunately, they didn't put the film up for some reason, and we're going to talk about that. They said the film is supposed to be up 2 to 4 hours after the game ends. Well, I'm not Big Ben, but it's been about 12 hours since the game has been over, and the game is still not up on Game Pass. So we'll watch a few highlights of it on NFL.com and just talk over the stats, just so we can talk about football, live football action. Obviously, none of the starters really playing that much, but we did see a little bit of our man Najee Harris last night. The quarterback play was absolutely not good at all. Nobody was stepping into throws last night. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. And then Simi Fehoko. He played last night, and we wanted to see a little bit better out of him. So we'll break down that game a little bit tonight, or today on the show. And then we will try to continue on with our NFL refresher, spin the wheel, pick the team, see what they did last season, see what they did this offseason, and who do they draft, what were they looking like record-wise, and then we'll walk through their schedule to see how many wins we can give them and can expect to see out of them this season. So that's what we have today on the show, but let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one up, well, let's talk about some Hall of Fame game here. Mike Tomlin says Steelers running back Najee Harris had a, quote, really good start in the Hall of Fame game. Now, he only had like 7 rushes for 21 yards, so he averaged like 3 yards a carry, which is still solid. I mean, that's the average, folks. If your starting running back is not averaging at least 3 yards a carry, he is not your starting running back in this league, folks. That's just how it is. So he had a decent showing. The offensive line wasn't the greatest last night for the Steelers team, but like we said, there was really no starters playing, and this is the first Hall of Fame, or the first preseason game, and the Steelers and the Cowboys each get 4, while the other teams get 3 because they play this extra game. So every team really takes big precautions in preseason games, and if you have an extra one, you're going to be extra precautious, especially when it's only like a week after you've started training camp. So we can really understand, like, this is not the game to really take anything away from, but like we said, it is the first football game in a matter of months, so we're going to talk about it a little more than we probably should be. But hey, who cares, right? Who cares? It's football. Let's get into it, folks. We can only, there's only so many months of NFL football. Might as well take full advantage of it. So let's see what Mike Tomlin was saying about the game, and let's see if we get any nice insights on what Najee Harris was doing last night. So here we go. Najee Harris's box score from Thursday's Hall of Fame game might not stand out, and it truly does not, folks. Like I said, we are going to watch this game a little bit more in depth, and the stats just for everybody, just not great at all. So they might not stand out, but the Steelers rookie running back showed why he'll be the club's workhorse running back in 2021. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin liked what he saw from Harris in the 16-3 win over the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, and I forgot to mention, folks, we chose the Steelers -2. Bingo, bango, they win by 13, so we are starting off the season on a high note. Oof. And folks, isn't this a blowout win? I mean, anything more than 10 points is really a blowout in football, and they won by 13. So once again, giving us credit, because remember, we predicted the line to be Steelers -4. We really didn't think this Cowboys second team was anything really special. They have great starters, don't get us wrong, and this Cowboys team is going to be good this year. But when we're talking about preseason, you have to look at the depth that these teams have, and the Cowboys don't have any of that depth, especially at the quarterback position. They will truly be screwed if, let me knock on wood, because I don't want to jinx anything bad here, but they'll be very, very bad if Dak Prescott does not play this season for whatever reason, whatever injury, whatever happens. They will be absolutely garbage, this Cowboys team. So, I mean, they couldn't even be good with Andy Dalton. Now they don't even have like a career starting quarterback on the roster. It's all truly backup tier 3, tier 4 talent on that quarterback roster. So bingo bango, starting off the season fresh, absolutely fantastic. And hey, I think we're going to go undefeated in our picks. I mean, we're already 1-0. Might as well go 100-0. I mean, how many games are there? Like 256 overall games. We're going to hit them all, folks. So get prepared, buckle up. We just proved what we were talking about yesterday, even though it was preseason games, baby. We still know. Steelers -4 prediction. We swallowed the 2 there for the Steelers, and they win by 13. Yes, sir, Vegas. Thank you. Thank you, Vegas. All right, let's get back to this article here and see what Mike Tomlin was saying about Najee Harris. Quote, I thought that he showed some of the things that he's been showing in practice settings. That's what we were looking for. We weren't looking for the spectacular. I talked to him and others during the course of the week. We wanted to make routine plays routinely. We wanted the pile to fall forward and things of that nature. He did all the things we've been watching him do. It's a really good start for him. So exactly what we were kind of saying earlier. Preseason games, they truly do not matter. Mike Tomlin saying, we just wanted to get some plays up here. We just wanted to kind of have routine. Not every run is going to be the home run hitter. We're not looking for that. We're looking to see what we did in practice, bring it out there on the field, and are we still kind of doing it the same? We're kind of all doing it correctly in a game time situation. And Najee Harris was hitting the holes. He was the blocking was solid when he was out there, and he was falling forward, getting some solid 3 to 5 yards every carry, which you expect your running backs to get in actual game settings. So this is actually great for Najee Harris, first official kind of on-field production in an NFL game because he is the rookie, and he kind of took full advantage of the light 7 carries that he got, but they liked what they saw, and he was kind of showing exactly what he was doing in training camp in yesterday's Hall of Fame game. So we give him credit for that. All right, let's continue on here. Playing into the second quarter, Harris toted the rock 7 times for 22 yards and added a reception on a screen that went for 3 yards. Harris's 3.1 yards per carries aren't eye-popping, but the rookie displayed the power, ability to get to the edge, and pass game acumen to be a 3-down running back out of the game. And that's like, if you were watching the Hall of Fame game, everyone's just saying, oh my God, he's going to be the 3-down back, 3-down back, 3-down back. Of course, he's going to be a 4-down back. They got no other running backs on this squad, folks. It's literally Najee Harris, or they're not going to bring a running back out there. So, of course, he's going to be the 3-down running back. He's beefy enough to do so. He's big enough in stamina enough out there to kind of go the entire length of the game and not have to kind of get pulled a couple of downs. So that's great from Najee Harris yesterday. Quote here by quarterback Mason Rudolph, quote, He wasn't wide-eyed. He was ready for a prime time, ready for action. So once again, that was kind of infectious of what Najee Harris was doing to everybody else on the team. They could feel the energy out there. And Mason Rudolph did not play good. I mean, he fumbled a handoff. I mean, truly bad right there. And he wasn't looking good throwing the ball. Literally nobody was. I mean, all the Ben DiNucci, Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, all really looking absolutely poorly out there. And the Steelers and Cowboys will not have any good backup quarterbacks on this team. Like we said, if Big Ben or Dak Prescott goes down, wrap it up. The season is over for both these teams. Alrighty, so that's what we got from Mike Tomlin on Najee Harris last night. Nothing great, everything solid, and they're looking forward to continuing on and growing this man into the elite running back that we know he can be. Alrighty, let's talk about what else happened yesterday. A couple of scares yesterday. The first one, Chase Claypool, the wide receiver. I believe it was Mason Rudolph, and this was actually a good ball. It was kind of one-on-one coverage, and Chase Claypool was able to get like about a half a step on the defender, and Mason Rudolph just throws it to him like 30 yards deep down the sideline. And Chase Claypool has to go and extend, and then he catches the ball, and it kind of lands. He kind of lands on the ball with his stomach, and there was a little bit of a gasp there in Canton, like, oh my goodness, Chase Claypool just got injured, but it just seemed like it was just like he landed on the ball, lost his breath, so he's all right. Chase Claypool is not injured, folks, even though he did go out after that play. It was enough preseason for him. He got some nice action, a great, spectacular catch, and hopefully we can see that in the replays because, like I said, Game Pass film is not up just quite yet, so we are held to the mercy of whatever NFL.com deems are the highlights for the games, but they got to be showing the Chase Claypool catch, and we'll talk about that, but he is all right, folks. Just kind of got the wind knocked out of him. But other Steelers running back Kellen Ballage, who scored the only touchdown of the game, ended up sustaining a lower body injury. So it's still kind of uncertain. The results haven't come back from his injury. We don't know the true full extent of that injury, and it's a little unfortunate. I didn't know Kellen Ballage was this low on the Steelers depth chart. I mean, the man's not even listed as a running back on the depth chart, folks. I mean, the four running backs listed on ESPN's Steelers depth chart are Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, and Jalen Samuels. I mean, Kellen Ballage isn't even on the depth chart here, and I thought that was a little disrespectful. I think he's really solid. I didn't know how well Benny Snell was actually. Benny Snell's listed as their number 2 runner, which I thought Kellen Ballage would be. But Benny Snell, the last 2 seasons, real solid, 426 yards his rookie year, and last season 368, while also, being the number 2 running back behind James Conner in that not great offensive line for the Steelers. This is still solid production, so we'll see if Benny Snell can keep the second kind of running back role here for the Steelers team, where Kellen Ballage, his stats are a little light. Nothing ever great. First 2 years with the Dolphins, 191 yards, 135 yards. Then last season, he played for 2 teams, the Jets and the Chargers, and racked up a total of 303 yards. But he hasn't really been the number 1 running back on a team. Never really could show his full potential. But he was kind of actually doing real solid last night for the Steelers team, even though it is preseason and all that, folks. I do get it, but he was running pretty solid, and I think he was averaging. Let's get his stats up here. From last night, Kellen Ballage, we had 5 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown, so 3.8 yards a carry. He actually led the team in that metric, so absolutely fantastic there. And like I said, he scored the only touchdown of the game, so you do have to give him a little bit of credit for that. So Kellen Ballage out here, we'll see. Hopefully it's nothing too big, too serious. I would like to see this man be able to try and get into that, probably not starting lineup, but some decent rotation into the running game. And you can't really do that if you're injured. So hopefully he put enough out on tape yesterday that kind of buys him a couple of days to get healthy, and then he can kind of go right back out there and try to make this final roster for the Steelers team. So we'll keep an eye on him. But really coming away with no main injuries last night, another huge positive from a preseason games, because that's, the biggest knock on preseason games. Stars get injured. That's why, nobody ever rarely plays. That's why starters never really play in the preseason. And we're going to talk about that in a second, because we're going to read this article. Sean McVay says there's 0 chance Matthew Stafford will ever take preseason snaps for the Rams. I mean, exactly that. So hopefully Kellen Ballage, nothing too serious, and we'll keep an eye on that. All right, now let's talk about kind of the Cowboys here last night. Real solid here from the defense a little bit. Micah Parsons, the rookie, what is he officially, linebacker or corner? He's a linebacker. Micah Parsons did pretty solid last night. Didn't play a whole lot, but he recovered a fumble from Mason Rudolph I think it was Chase Claypool or somebody, trying to do like a jet sweep, and they just mistimed it, or Mason Rudolph didn't know what was going on. It was a fumble regardless, and they lose the ball, and Michael Parsons was actually the one to recover the ball, so fantastic there. So let's see what the Cowboys are saying about Michael Parsons from his performance yesterday. So here we go. Let's go into this article. And this is kind of big time for, Dan Quinn having a real strong, talented piece. That's kind of something we are tracking this year with the Cowboys. Can Dan Quinn coach? He was a great defensive coordinator for the Legion of Boom. Then he got to Atlanta, had about 1 good year defensively, and then that was really it. He never really popped off as a good head coach, and now he's back being a defensive coordinator for one of the worst just overall defenses of last year. So he's really going to have his work cut out for him, but if he can get good pieces out on the field, like rookie linebacker Micah Parsons truly getting it together and being a year 1 impact, that's going to help out Dan Quinn a little bit, just easing him into this new team, easing him back into the defensive coordinator role, and trying to lock it up for this Cowboys team that does have all the talent to kind of win the division. So let's see what they were saying about Micah Parsons last night. Here we go. Michael Parsons didn't play much in Thursday night's Hall of Fame game, but the linebacker showed why the Dallas Cowboys pinned to make him the first round pick during the draft process. The speedy linebacker was all over the field in the brief action he saw in the first quarter of the 16-3 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Steelers really weren't scoring points until kind of, the second half of the game. So overall, that kind of first half defense of the Cowboys was truly locking up, the Steelers. So that's another good positive sign about this Cowboys defense, just overall schematically coaching, all that. Quote here by Michael Parsons: "It felt good. It was bittersweet that I didn't get to play a lot. I felt like it was a good experience to get my feet wet and get a feel for the game. I made some mistakes. There were some good things. I am just going to build off for it." So once again, everyone just kind of getting their feet wet. This is the first preseason games, an extra preseason game. And now once you kind of go into your second, we're getting into kind of the thick of it, the competitive side of training camp. Now, remember, Urban Meyer said that was starting this week, this Monday, that kind of competitive side. And, everyone's just getting their feet wet, get experience under the belt, get the reps under the belt, and then go out and be ready week 1 to make the true impact that matters, because now we're starting to keep score. All right, Parsons compiled 3 tackles and recovered a botched snap. That was the botched snap from Mason Rudolph. Hopefully we can see that in the replay as well, because I would like to get another kind of look at that. They didn't really show it that well. I want to see, is it Mason Rudolph's fault? Because we are kind of tracking that number 2 quarterback here for the Steelers. Dwayne Haskins was not looking good either. But Mason Rudolph, you've been there for like 3 years and you're still not good. What the hell is wrong with you? Seriously. That came off a little bit more like violent than I wanted it to be. But seriously, it's still like 3 years with the Steelers team and you're still not kind of good enough to be like a good preseason quarterback. It's like, okay, maybe Dwayne Haskins was actually right about, hey, I'm going to make this a competition at the number 2. So we'll see what Dwayne Haskins can do for the rest of the preseason games, but he's going to have to step it up too. All right, what else we got here? Michael Parsons compiled 3 tackles and recovered a botched snap. More than counting stats, Parsons was always around the ball while playing in just 1 quarter. It was nearly impossible to have your eye not instinctively go to Parsons. He stands out that much. There was one play in which Steelers wideout Ray McLeod got to the edge on Parsons. The run only went for 2 yards, but gave Parsons something to point toward to improve on moving forward. Quote, "I like to have clean games. I like to be flawless. I like to be perfect. I just like to be great when I play. I put a lot of love and work into my craft, so when I come out there, I just want to be perfect." So this kind of rookie holding himself up to a very, very high standard. That's exactly what we love, and he's starting to kind of prove it here as preseason games kind of start to tip off here. All right, one more quote. Let's read the lead up here. "Dallas sorely needed playmakers on a defense that was lacking at every level last season." Truly that. "In just one game, Parsons flashed the talent to be an impact player from the jump in his career." Quote here by Michael Parsons. "Preparing against the number 1 offense this year, and that's the Dallas Cowboys this year. Going against CeeDee Lamb, Ced Wilson, Noah Brown every day, and you have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard to chase after every day. It makes it a lot easier when you have to come out here. That made it easier. That's why I got drafted here, to go sideline to sideline." So that is once again, the number 1 defense going against the number 1 offense in practice, because that's the only kind of players that you have on your team. So of course you want your offense, your starting offense, to go against your starting defense to get the best look possible out there with competition. And Michael Parsons, we kind of gush about this Cowboys offensive team all the time. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak Prescott, who's a very, very good quarterback. You got Zeke Elliott. You've got Tony Pollard in the backfield as well. And that's just making Michael Parsons better. And we kind of were able to get that for, like we said, glimpse, only 1 quarter, but he can build off of that. And he got a fumble recovery. That's a takeaway, folks. And, however it looked, whatever it is, hey, that's still a stat. That's still a turnover. And that's still big time when you're playing defense. So we still got to give the man credit for just seeing the ball, being around the ball, maybe maybe right place, right time, but still, I'm not going to knock you for getting turnovers. So very well done to Michael Parsons last night. We'll see if he can continue to keep getting better. We have Michael Parsons listed as our third best linebacker on our big board here for the rookies. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, number 1. Zaven Collins, number 2. Michael Parsons, number 3. So, hey, make us eat this list. I've got no problem with that. Go out there and be the best linebacker. I'll eat the list. I'll print it out. We'll eat it on the show. Prove us wrong. We've got no problem with that. All right, now let's talk about why Sean McVay says there's a 0% chance Matthew Stafford will ever take preseason snaps for the Rams. Obviously, we know he doesn't. He's a tried-true veteran. He's not going to really gain anything by being on the field in preseason. He's going to learn the plays in training camp. He's going to learn the rhythm with the wide receivers in training camp, and then he knows game action. He knows game rhythm. He knows game tempo. He knows game flow. He will be fine in game scenarios. So let's see why Sean McVay is not going to put this man in preseason. Once again, Sean McVay won't put his key players in harm's way during preseason action. If you thought McVay might reconsider his past approach to the preseason, given that he's breaking in a new quarterback, think again. Ask on the Doug Gottlieb show whether Matthew Stafford would see action in the preseason. The Los Angeles Rams coach responded with a heck no. Not this year, not ever. Quote, there is zero chance you will ever see Matthew Stafford take a snap in the preseason for the Rams as long as I'm the coach. That will never happen. Geez, very adamant there. He is not going to play. That's why it's important for us to try to get competitive ops against some of these other teams in practice settings. Practicing against the Cowboys this Sunday, get the Raiders twice, so we're always looking forward to those things. Until you tell me that if a guy gets hurt in the preseason that we'll get those games back, or they'll add him on the schedule afterwards as, oh yeah, you get 2 games because you lost those guys in preseason, it's hard for me to make sense of it. So, I mean, that's basically the thought here. That's why the kind of NFLPA Players Association is always trying to negotiate for less and less preseason games, because the players know they don't want to be out there. The players don't even want the 17th game this season, folks. They're like, no, we don't need more games out here for more potential injuries. So, of course, they want less preseason games as well. Players hate it. Coaches only like it because you can figure out, your number kind of 30 or probably 40 through the final 53 players that you keep on the roster. You kind of know, all right, yeah, they're not starting right now, but these are potential prospects that could be playing next year or in 2 years. So that's really the only reason the preseason should exist, is to kind of fill out your roster and see what the 3rd and 4th string guys could potentially do. And we all know that's basically what preseason's there for. So Sean McVay's not going to play. Dak Prescott wasn't even at the game last night, folks. This man has a little bit of a shoulder tweak. Didn't even travel to Canton for the game, even with all the festivities of Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame game of all the Hall of Fame inductees taking place this weekend. Dak Prescott was like, no, I'll stay behind. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. And Big Ben was just in regular street clothes, listening into the plays and seeing like, all right, this is kind of what we're going to be doing offensively. Let me make sure that I kind of definitely get these plays down a little bit more here, maybe practice some of these plays a little bit more, a little bit harder, a little bit better. So of course, Sean McVay of course, Matthew Stafford is not going to be playing in preseason this season. Doesn't even need it, folks. All right. Let's keep moving on here. Here we go. Cardinals, Chase Edmonds, the running back, says, quote, I hate the term RB1, running back 1. Okay, do you? Okay, because if I was a running back, I would love to be called the running back 1. Oh, I'm the starter? Yeah, I love that. Don't call me RB2. No, I'm RB1, baby. I am not a second string. I am not a backup. I am out there 3-down back like Najee Harris over here. But we do know that this Cardinals team with Chase Edmonds and James Conner, we have heard a couple of times in the offseason and start of the OTAs and all that, the mini camps, that this Cardinals team is just going to be running back by committee. James Conner's never been an A1 tier 1 running back. Chase Edmonds, I don't believe, has ever rushed for 1,000 yards. Let's quickly get his stats up. I want to say he's maxed out at like 700. Let's see. Oh my God, even less than I thought. Jesus, maxed out at 400 going into his 4th season. So this man doesn't want to be called RB1. This man hates the term RB1, probably because you were never RB1 and you always were RB2. So that's why you despise RB1. Okay. All right, Chase, but let's see what he means. What do you mean by you hate the term RB1, and why do you hate it? So here we go. The Arizona Cardinals signed running back James Conner to compete with Chase Edmonds for snaps this season. The question of who will win the battle isn't something either running back is worried about. Okay, because they've never had the taste of an RB1. James Conner was RB1 last season for the Steelers just because they didn't have anybody else. And they're like, yeah, we don't even need a running game. Our passing game, we've got Big Ben. We've got like 4 deep wide receivers. We're barely going to run the ball, and we don't have a line that can really help us run the ball. So I guess put James Conner back there. So all right, let's see what they say. Quote, I hate the term RB1, Chase Edmonds said. Conner, who had been the clear-cut starter during his time with Pittsburgh, agrees with Edmonds, saying, quote, football is competing. We're both going to play a lot this year. We're both going to make plays. So RB1 really don't mean much. Okay, I still want that, though. It's like, getting, in your job and you get kind of a raise and it comes with like a new job title. It's like, all right, do you want to just be, programmer? Or do you want to be called, senior programmer now? It's like, well, yeah, I'll take senior programmer. Absolutely. Why would I not kind of have that title? Why don't I want that title? Like, what is that? So, all right, not really good competition here. Everyone's saying, James Conner just said football is competing, but then doesn't want to kind of be hailed as RB1. I don't know if I think that kind of goes against, the competitive spirit that you're trying to kind of display here. So, all right, interesting. We got any more quotes here? One more quote. Let's read it. It's not what fantasy football heads want to hear, but Cliff Kingsbury will again employ a committee, as he did with Edmonds and Kenyon Drake last season. Conner's arrival portends Edmonds remaining in the third down pass catching role in which he thrived last season. The former Steelers back is more likely to play the early down between the tackle roles. Quote here by Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach, says, quote, we will play to their strengths. James is obviously a bigger back, and Chase, when he had an opportunity, did some great things. We want to make sure we are calling plays both those guys are comfortable with when they are in and kind of tailor them. So running back by committee, that's kind of what we got going on over here. Now, we do know that Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds were the running backs for the Cardinals last season, and we just said that Chase Edmonds only had 448 yards last season. Okay, hang on. Whoa. I forgot to look at the receiving yards. Okay, this is actually real solid. He had 448 rushing yards and also 400 receiving yards for a total of 850 yards. That's real gosh dang good for Chase Edmonds last season. Let's see what Kenyon Drake did, just to kind of get a good sense of what the running back by committee is truly should be capable of. And let's see if James Conner has the potential to kind of make up for the production that Kenyon Drake gave us last season for the Cardinals. So let's get Kenyon Drake's stats up quickly. Damn. Those 400 receiving yards along with the 400 rushing, that's actually real gosh dang good by James Conner. That's fantastic. All right, last year, Kenyon Drake rushed for 955 yards, only caught 137 for a grand total of 1,092 yards. But that's real great. 1,000-yard production by Kenyon Drake, 800 by Chase Edmonds. So James Conner is truly going to have his work cut out for him, because he's going to have to kind of make up for this Kenyon Drake production that we saw last year. We do need to see Chase Edmonds get a little bit more involved because he does know the scheme and role a little bit better. So hopefully he can improve his game. But yeah, man, I mean, this running back by committee could be good, but we need to see what James Conner is truly capable of, because he has rushed for 800 yards a couple of times in his career. I mean, I don't think he's ever, let's get his stats up. I don't think he's ever rushed for 1,000 yards. But let's see what we got here by James Conner. I think he's maxed out at like 800 a year. Last season, only 721. He rushed for 973 in 2018. Pass catching is decent. He had 215 yards. He had 497 receiving yards in 2018 with that 900-yard rushing season for a grand total of 1,400 yards. That's spectacular. So he's been proven to hit that metric of 1,400. And if James Conner can go for 1,400 and Chase Edmonds goes for 800, this could be a real solid running attack here, running back by committee. Then you got Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green to worry about. Ooh boy, watch out for this Cardinals offense, folks. Jeez Louise, man, oh man. glad that we read into this article. It wasn't anything great, but it just reminded us of those stats that these running backs could do, and maybe we love it. So yeah, fuck the term running back one. I don't care. Damn, give me 800 and 1,400 yards production. I don't care who does it. I don't care who gets the what. I don't care what y'all do, receiving, catching. Just make sure that we're kind of getting 2,000 yards in total by both of y'all, rushing and passing. So let's see what they get. But running back by committee here with the Cardinals, kind of confirmed. Nobody even wants the starting job. Don't even give me RB1. Give me RB2. Give me RB2 and 3. Don't give me number 1. We committee out here. We a group collective RB1. What's up? What's up? All right. Let's keep moving on here. And folks, it's every day. How are we not supposed to bet that Justin Fields is the week 1 starter, folks? How do we not wake up every day and throw $1,000 every day on the plus 400 odds of Justin Fields being the week 1 starting quarterback? It's literally every day we're getting something about this man that rises Justin Fields to the starting level. That makes us buy into this man heavy. We got to recheck the odds here because I can't believe it. I truly cannot believe it, folks. I truly cannot believe that the odds are this high, this kind of bad in terms of probably not going to happen. That's why the odds are high. That's why we have a chance to win a lot of money, because Vegas doesn't think it's going to happen. But in our mind, these are great odds because we should be winning a lot of money here. So let's refresh these odds here, and it still is plus 400. Why? Why is that, folks? Because we get this now. We get this. Jimmy Graham, the great tight end. Let me, before we read this quote, I got to give you this man's credentials on what Jimmy Graham does, because this man's a great tight end in this league, folks. I don't think he went to tight end university because he's already established. You don't need this man there. He may have went. We could potentially check that. But let's just get up this man's credentials really quickly. So this quote that we're about to read about Justin Fields really sticks to y'all and really forces y'all to go down and bet Justin Fields being the week 1 starter right now. Y'all understand? Here we go. Jimmy Graham, an OG, starting in 2010 with the Saints, folks. He's a big old 6'7" tight end. You know we love the tall tight ends out there, folks. Come on. 5-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Absolutely fantastic. He does he not have a ring? Did he not win a ring with the Saints? When did the Saints win their ring? Interesting. I thought he had a Super Bowl. Unfortunate. All right. That still doesn't take away from anything, folks. Don't get it twisted. Here we go. How many? I mean, folks, he had 1,000 yards in 2011. Was doing it before it was all cool. Now with, Travis Kelce getting 1,000 now, he was doing it before it was cool. He got 1,000 yards, 1,300 to be exact, in 2011. He had 1,200 in 2013. He had 900 in 2012. He had 900 in 2016. He had 800 in 2014. Fantastic. Obviously, his numbers are going down a little bit as we kind of get towards the end. I mean, this man's been in the league for 10 plus years, folks. So 10 years, I think, on the dot. But this man's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely great tight end out here. So this man's words hold a little bit of weight. He's played with Drew Brees. He's played with Russell Wilson. He's played with Aaron Rodgers. And unfortunately, last year, he had to play with old Mitch Trubisky. Unfortunately. But he's been playing with some of the greatest quarterbacks to ever throw the ball. And now, what does he say about Justin Fields, folks? Are y'all ready for this? Quote here, Jimmy Graham on Justin Fields. Quote, these are his words that came out of his mouth. This is what he said. Quote, he definitely reminds me a lot, not a little bit, not a tiny bit. Oh, yeah, some resemblance. No, he definitely reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson. Ooh. You mean 2-time Super Bowl participant Russell Wilson? You mean 1-time Super Bowl winner Russell Wilson? Oh, that man? That man's good. You mean top 10 quarterback in the league right now, Russell Wilson? Yeah, he's that good. Do we even dare say top 5? Top 5 quarterback in this league? We got him number 5. Yeah, that Russell Wilson. So we got this rookie who's not even projected to start being as good as Russell Wilson. Folks, do y'all need to know what Russell Wilson does? Do y'all think Russell Wilson's a scrub, folks? Are y'all telling me Russell Wilson's a scrub, folks? Do I have to bring up the stats? Do I got to bring up the receipts, the knowledge to y'all? Do I got to bring this up? Because it's up now, folks. Here we go. Look at the completion percentage. I mean, folks, this man's completing 65% for his career. In 8 years. 8 years, an average of 65% completion percentage. Absolutely magnificent, folks. Exactly fantastic. He threw for 68%. He threw for 65. Folks, last season he threw for 68 as well. The year before that, 66. The year before that, 65. Fantastic. Oh, and this man's got multiple 4,000-yard seasons. Okay. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 4,000-yard seasons. Okay, we'll take that. This man doesn't turn the ball over. Last year, 40 touchdowns, 13 picks. Oh, my God. The year before that, 31 touchdowns, 5 picks. Oh, my God. The year before that, 35 touchdowns, 7 picks. Oh my God. The year before that, 34 touchdowns. He led the league in passing touchdowns with only 11 interceptions. Oh yeah, that man, yeah, he's pretty gosh dang good. So give some respect to Justin Fields, and this man is absolutely going to be the week 1 starter, folks. I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all. I am giving y'all an opportunity to literally win free money. This is free money. It's free money, folks. Do y'all not like money? Do y'all not like free things? How are y'all not rushing to your local sports book to bet Justin Fields the week 1 starter? I don't know how much more I need to see. I don't know what Vegas is thinking. They're reading all this news. They're like, yeah, he's still not good. He's still not. You're reading all this? Are you even listening to the show, Vegas? Jeez. Folks. Was Jimmy Graham invited to Tight End University? Let me get that up. I don't know if he was or wasn't. I don't even know if Jimmy Graham would want to go. And that's no disrespect to Tight End University. But, you know, he doesn't need any more help. The man is cemented, folks. Let's see. Was he invited to Tight End University? We got Darren Waller, Noah Fant, Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews, Mike Gesicki, Cole Kmet. That's kind of who they chose. Cole Kmet's looking pretty good. We got a story about him coming up, too. Eric Ebron. We got him anywhere. I'm scrolling. A lot of young guns here. And it does not look like he probably was invited, just declined. I mean, I would probably decline too. Like y'all, I should be running this camp. What do y'all think? It should have been Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, George Kittle, and Jimmy Graham organizing and running the camp. So Jimmy Graham, folks, y'all not going to take his opinion? This man said definitely and reminds me a lot. He definitely reminds me a lot. I mean, folks, it's not like, yeah, he kind of reminds me a little. It's definitely. That's like 100%. Like when you're describing something, saying something's definite, that's 100%, folks. So he's 100% on the opinion that he looks a lot. A lot is like 90+%. So out of a potential 200% faith in this small quote, we got 190% of believing in Justin Fields. So, folks, what do we got? A month? We got 1 month left before the start of the season, and we've already got all this information of Justin Fields being the week 1 starter. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm making money. I'll make money. I'm not worried about it. It's like I'm just trying to help y'all as well. Shoot. So that's where we're at with Justin Fields. But then we get this. It's not just people, what they're saying. It's what he's doing on the field. So we get this. Zach Pearson, who is he? Covering the Bears. He covers the Bears for a living. Verified on Twitter. Come on. He says both Andy Dalton and Justin Fields have looked good here in 7-on-7 drills near the goal line. Both have had multiple consistent, strong, and accurate throws for touchdowns. So, folks, if they're both looking good, why would you go with Andy Dalton, who's got no upside? Where Justin Fields, the sky is the limit. We know what Andy Dalton has done. So, at the end of training camp, if both of these quarterbacks are doing good and kind of doing just kind of the same, if you kind of see them as the same, why would you not go with Justin Fields, who everyone's excited about? That's going to draw more attention to your team, more energized in the fan base than just Andy Dalton out there. We've seen Andy Dalton multiple years. He's never done it. Why is it going to be different this time? As he's older, as he's not as familiar with this team as he was with the Bengals. So why would we even, I mean, the only way that Andy Dalton could start and really should start for this Bears team is if he just absolutely looks like goes out there and looks like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or something, or Aaron Rodgers. That's the only way I put Andy Dalton as a starting quarterback, if he looks absolutely magnificent. But we're just getting good and solid. So why would you not go with Justin Fields, folks? I really think Matt Nagy's playing this one close to his chest, and we're going to have a real kind of late admission to Justin Fields being the week 1 starter, folks. Plus 400 odds. Please, for the love of gosh, go make some free money. It's free money. Free money, folks. I'm just trying to help y'all. So that's where we're at with Justin Fields still, folks. Fantastic. And another reason why you start Justin Fields right here, folks, right here. Bears tight end Cole Kmet has been creating good separation all camp, much improvement in year 2, and that's fantastic. We just said he was invited to tight end university. He's kind of tight end number 1 here over Jimmy Graham, who's tight end number 2. Let's get the Bears depth chart up really quickly, just to make sure that Jimmy Graham is like, I do think he is number 2 on their squad. So let's see what we get here with their depth chart. If it wants to load. ESPN has been actually trash these last couple of days, folks, honestly. Let's go to this other website, ourlads.com. Oh, it just looks like it's the internet again. Classic. So we're going to have to pull this one up on the old mobile. Here we go. Bears depth chart. Alrighty, we got Cole Kmet listed number 1 and Jimmy Graham listed number 2, and then Jesse James listed number 3. That's kind of what we thought. All right, so Cole Kmet coming back into that starting role. Last year, I think I should have stats up. Here we go. Last year, only 243 yards catching. I mean, only started 9 games coming into his own, but like we said, he went to tight end university, a year under his belt, learning from Jimmy Graham and all that, and especially, having good, solid tight ends, folks, that's just a check down, a safety blanket, and kind of some of these throws. I would say probably 50% of the throws, or maybe even more, honestly, 50+% of the passing plays are just tight ends being safety blankets. A short kind of 5-yard out route, in route, comeback route, a drag route over the middle of the field, 2-3 yards. They do go deep. We've seen George Kittle go deep. We've seen Darren Waller go deep. They do go deep, but just having a good tight end helps a young, emerging, learning rookie quarterback in this league. So all signs are truly pointing to Justin Fields being the week 1 starter, folks. I will live and die by that bet. I will go absolutely broke, and I will go absolutely rich on this bet, folks. I am that confident, and that this really should be happening. All the information is here, folks. We've been tracking it the entire offseason. Yes, I know the official words out of Matt Nagy are, quote, "We have a plan for Justin Fields." I get that, folks. We've read it. But every time he says that, it's kind of the backhanded compliment. He says, yeah, we have a plan for Justin Fields, but we also don't know. And he also says, yes, right now, Andy Dalton is a starting quarterback, but also we don't know what's happening in the future. So, yes, he's saying these things, but he's leaving it kind of open that Justin Fields could be the week 1 starter, and he's looking real gosh dang good, folks. You're not going to put him out there if he looks good? What is that? I'd put $1 million on that, dude. Honestly. $1 million. What does that win you? 40? Does that win you 4 million? 1 million? 1 million wins you. Oh, I gotta add one more zero here. 1 million. Oh, you can't even do 1 million. You can only bet 100,000. What? That's it. 100,000 wins you 500,000. Could have won $1 million. $5 million. Unfortunate. Only 100,000. I guess that will have to suffice. 100,000 on Justin Fields to be the week 1 starter, folks. Go bet that, please. Go bet that. 500,000. Jeez. All right, let's keep moving on here. I'll spend all day. Tomorrow we'll spend all the show again telling you that Justin Fields is the week 1 starter. Something else will come out, folks. Come on. Alrighty, let's move on here. We got an update on Kenny Golladay. We know he had a little bit of a hamstring tweak the other day at practice, and now we get the timetable on how long he's going to be out for. So here we go. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay is expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with a minor hamstring pull suffered in practice. They go on to say that hamstring injuries are tricky, and Golladay has dealt with hamstring issues in the past, but this one is not considered significant, which is obviously very good. Kenny Golladay is their best wide receiver that they have. We do talk about how deep the Giants wide receiver core is, but you still want an A1 tier 1 out there, and Kenny Golladay, I do believe, is an A1 tier 1 wide receiver in this league. So for the help of Daniel Jones, for the help of Saquon Barkley coming back off that injury, having that great wide receiver core deep and great is obviously a benefit for the team. So Kenny Golladay should be good to go week 1. This is 2 to 3 weeks. We've got multiple weeks before week 1 starts. So 2 weeks brings us to the 20th, and the 3 weeks brings us to the 27th. So absolutely a ton of time left to return and get some good practice reps in before week 1 starts. So the Giants are still on pace of having everybody week 1. No worries. Hopefully Saquon Barkley can come too, because we still don't know an update on him either. How annoying. All right, another Giants article or kind of a tweet right here. And once again, if you want to read too much into this, I'm not going to read that much into this, but I do think it's a little interesting and just the overall thinking of potentially winning a Super Bowl. So we just talked about it, I think, last week on the show. A lot of kind of the Raiders front office and a couple of Raiders players potentially all kind of retiring. We thought that was weird because we're like, if you have a great chance to win the Super Bowl, why are you retiring? Like, if somebody told me, hey, we've got a real great year, we are real contenders of winning the Super Bowl. Like, we're top 4 teams in this league right now. And I'm like an aging player or an aging just kind of front office member. And somebody came up to me and was like, don't retire right now because this is the year that we can really do it. Next year, retire. But this year, we are on the cusp of greatness. And if somebody told me that, I think I would push off retirement for 1 more year. But then we heard from the Raiders front office all retiring. So that kind of makes us a little hesitant if we want to read that much into those players retiring, those people retiring, that Raiders are not in prime shape to win a Super Bowl. Because why would you retire if you have a real great chance of winning the Super Bowl? That really doesn't, I would stay for 1 more year. And now we're kind of getting the same thing here with the Giants. Veteran guard Zach Fulton is retiring from the NFL, making him the 3rd Giants player to retire in the last few days. So we are big on this Giants team. We feel like they have all the pieces needed to try and make a run, but maybe that's not what some of these players are seeing out on the field, whether it's the quarterback, running back, coaching style, defense, offensive line, wide receiver core, whatever it is. It seems like something is leaving a bad taste in these players' mouths, the front office personnel's mouths, that they truly don't think or not buying in the hype. We're saying that this is the do or die season for the Raiders with John Gruden. We're saying this is kind of the year 3 leap that we need to see out of Daniel Jones, but we got all these people retiring. So if you want to read into it deeply here, I don't know. I truly don't even know how much I should be reading into this. But if you do want to read into these deep, the Raiders and Giants will not be good this season. Only time will tell, and we'll have to revisit these stories once kind of the final record or the first kind of half of the season. If the Raiders and Giants are looking trash, it was right in front of us the whole time, folks. Players, multiple personnel retiring, even though in our minds, those 2 teams, Raiders and Giants, have a real solid, I give them a solid chance. I put them in kind of the top 50% of trying to make a Super Bowl run. I don't think that's out of the realm. They're obviously not at the front of the list. They're not the Bucks. They're not, Even probably the Packers could get back there. They're not the Chiefs. They're not the Ravens. I mean, they're still solid teams. I mean, I would put them in the class. I mean, the Cardinals could potentially make the Super Bowl run. I put them in the Cardinals category. The Cowboys territory of potentially making a run. The Dolphins potentially making a run. So they're just kind of in the top 50% of teams that I believe could make a Super Bowl push, a Super Bowl run. But all these people are retiring. What's up with that? I don't know. You tell me. I just provide the information in some takes. I'm not providing that much of a take on this one because I don't even know, folks. I don't even know. So that's where we're at. We'll see. All right, we get this, and this is not a surprise, folks. We've been saying this all day ever since kind of the mainstream media, mainstream narrative now is that Aaron Rodgers is somehow all sunshine and rainbows with his Green Bay team. It makes no sense. So we get this. Fox is reporting that the Green Bay Packers have agreed to trade Aaron Rodgers if he still wants out of Green Bay following the 2021 season. Folks, that's what we were saying, that's basically the outcome of the renegotiated deal. I am out of here as soon as possible, basically after the end of this year, but I'm contractually obligated to the 2022 season. But the Packers are having some good faith in this and saying, yes, we will trade you after the season. So we know this and everything, and we just heard the Aaron Rodgers quote yesterday. A relationship isn't built in a day or a couple of days, anything like that. So you can give me everything I want now, but it's a little bit too little too late. I'll enjoy all these kind of freedoms. I can do whatever I want. You're getting me the players I want. I'm gonna enjoy that, but I'm still leaving next year. So don't be surprised when Aaron Rodgers goes somewhere next year. He saw Tom Brady go somewhere and win a ring. He saw Peyton Manning go somewhere and win a ring. He saw Drew Brees stick with the Saints, didn't win a ring at the end of his career. He sees Big Ben sticking with the Steelers, not winning a ring at the end of his career, potentially. He's still got 1 year left. So he's like, do I go with Brady or Manning, or do I do the Brees and Roethlisberger thing? Because I want a ring. I've only got one. And I don't want to be kind of a one ring man out here. I want 2, I want 3, I want 7. So he's gone, folks. He is gone. We know this. Another take we will live and die by. Aaron Rodgers will not be a Packer next season. 100%. All right, more kind of reports here, this time from Jay Glazer, and this one is kind of been what we've been saying about Carson Wentz foot injury. Not that big of a deal. No need to kind of over-rush and get a quarterback. It's all fine. They'll believe in Jacob Eason for a couple of games if they need to. But Jay Glazer of Fox Sports reports that the Indianapolis Colts will know more about Carson Wentz's foot injury return date in 2 weeks, and that's kind of what Frank Reich said. There's a 2-week period of just rest. He's not going to do anything besides rest. He's laid up on the couch, foot up in the air, above your heart to get the good circulation, and then you take your first step 2 weeks after that. He's not moving off the couch, folks. So that's what we know. They'll know more about Carson Wentz's foot return date in 2 weeks, but the team is expecting him closer to the front end of his initial 5 to 12 week timeline, and that's what we said. We kind of pegged it at 8 weeks. That's kind of what we were thinking, but it seems like they're kind of even saying maybe 5, 6, maybe 7. So Carson Wentz should be good to go by week 3 at the latest, potential week 1 return as well. So no reason to go get a starting quarterback, make Carson Wentz kind of bad or mad, or just kind of make Carson Wentz be like, really, folks, y'all got to believe in me. This is not a new injury. This is a previous injury. You don't need to go and get a replacement for me. I am fine. Stick with Jacob Eason. We like Jacob Eason. We are big on Jacob Eason as a small interim role for the team just to kind of, go get it done. We believe Jacob Eason can be a game manager. So Carson Wentz should be back sooner rather than later. And like we said, we have to watch the, the offensive lineman who also has kind of the same injury as well. So they should both be back quickly on the 5 to 12 week timeline. So no jumping off this Colts ship just quite yet for us. We were always at 100% in this offseason, kind of went down to 80 at the injury, and I think I'm close to back up to 90% buying into this Colts team 100%. So no big jumping ship for this Colts team, folks. They're good. They're fine. Whew, deep breath, folks. Deep breaths. Alrighty, more news from training camp here. Not good here, very not good. But cornerback for the Ravens, Jimmy Smith, had to be carted off of practice today with an apparent lower leg injury. John Harbaugh spoke to the media shortly after and said it's too early to know what happened. So being carted off the field is never great. Luckily for this Ravens team that they do have two good corners already. Jimmy Smith is kind of their third option a little bit, and he's still very good, folks. We looked this man up on playerprofile.com, our favorite website, going against some good, well, not even good. I mean, he is kind of the third-string cornerback out here, so you're kind of going against, third-string talent. But against Travis Kelce, he went 5 of 7 for 62 yards. Not terrible. Against Logan Thomas, 2 of 3 for 20 yards. Good lockup there. Against Mike Thomas of the Bengals, 1 of 3 for 6 yards. Travis Fulgham, 3 of 7 for 29 yards. Deontay Johnson, 3 of 8 for 17 yards. That's a real great lockup right there. Marcus Johnson for the Colts, 2 of 9 for 15 yards. Once again, great. A.J. Brown of the Titans, 1 of 2 for 12 yards. Once again, not bad there. That's probably the best person he faced. Deontay Johnson, round number 2, 2 of 2 for only 23 yards. And then Rashad Higgins, 2 of 2 for 11 yards for the Bengals. So he's been proven to kind of get it done against, tier 2, 3 talent-ish. Never really goes up against the tier 1s the entire game. So they're not going to miss that. They've got, who are their... It's Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. So it's Jimmy Smith, the third-string cornerback out here, but he did just get carted off, so not the greatest. And hopefully it's nothing too serious. We don't know any kind of major details just quite yet. But like we said, just getting carted off is never great. So we'll keep an eye on Jimmy Smith and see if he can kind of get back in time. All right, let's get to this, because this was kind of surprising, and I absolutely love it. Another reason why Justin Fields should be the starting quarterback right here, folks. Former Eagles head coach Doug Peterson is at Bears camp today. This is his, that's Nick Foles in the background, but just the fact that Doug Peterson is back kind of coaching a little bit. He's not on this team fully as a staff yet. We don't know what's going on. Matt Nagy bringing in Doug Peterson, but we are big believers in Doug Peterson. We absolutely hated that he got kind of canned from the Eagles job. We thought that was the wrong decision, especially when you're kind of building on a new quarterback. He's got great winning seasons his entire career with the Eagles. Just last season when everything kind of went awry with that Carson Wentz situation. So, he led him to the Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl, and you get rid of him after, 4 or 5 years? It makes no sense. So we actually absolutely hated him getting fired from the Eagles, but now he's here with the Bears and Matt Nagy. So this is real interesting, and we'll see if he is going to be on the staff permanently. Is this just like a one-day thing, a one-practice thing? But I love that Doug Peterson's here with Matt Nagy. I think the two minds could really be absolutely great. And if we have Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson both working on Justin Fields, I really think that could expedite him back into that starting lineup as soon as possible. So watch out, folks. This Bears team could be secretly dangerous. We'll see what they do in training and preseason games in week 1 and all that. But Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, Justin Fields, an overall solid defense, Allen Robinson, we'll see what this team could do. But some surprising developments with Doug Peterson back in the coaching game. He doesn't want to be an assistant. That's kind of what we know. That's why he took this year off, to see what head coaching vacancies are available. Maybe he's just kind of previewing his new team, because we know Matt Nagy's on the hot seat. So he's like, Matt Nagy, I know you're going to go down this season, so I'm just checking everything here. What is my team going to look like next season? Because I'm going to be taking over the reins. All right. Yeah, it just feels it's looking real good. Oh, Nick Foles, you're here too. All right. Yeah, Philly special. Yeah, I know there's not going to be a Chicago special. I'll tell you that. You can go pack your bags with Matt Nagy. You're out too. I believe in Justin Fields. All right, Matt Nagy, you mind if I go up to the office real quick? I don't want to measure some walls. I got some pictures I got to be hanging up here. So, if you could just give me the keys, I'll just go up there real quick and start measuring. So, we'll see what happens here. Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, co-head coaches, assistant head coach for Doug Peterson. I'd like that. I'd like it. So, we'll see what happens here with Doug Peterson. If it's a one-time just practice invite, but he's wearing Bears clothing, hey. We'll see. Doug Peterson at the Bears camp today. Alrighty. Well, there's 3 players who didn't practice today for the Jaguars. Can you take a guess on who didn't? Because that's the only reason why we're bringing up the story. Tim Tebow, Didn't practice today for the Jaguars because of an illness. Oh, Timmy, are you sick? Oh, no, Tim Tebow's sick. He doesn't play through illnesses. Oh, I thought he was so competitive. I thought he was so competitively driven. But a little cold, got Timmy under the weather, and he's like, oh, coach, I can't play today. I'm just not feeling great. I'm just not feeling good. Get your ass out on the field, Timmy Tebow. You think you're so good. You got a lot to prove, obviously. You think you can do it, and you're going to take a little bit of a day off because of a little illness? Y'all said he had that competitive edge, competitive spirit. If he truly did, he'd be out there on the field. Down a bottle of, like, Robitussin, get back out on the field. Little Tylenol day. No Tylenol PM so he doesn't get drowsy out there. He can stay awake out on the field. But he's going to instead take the little bit of a day off. Oh, coach, I just need a day off. Okay. You can take a day off the team. How about that? So, Tim Tebow didn't practice today, folks. That's y'all starting tight end? That's y'all tight end? Okay. I'll stick with Darren Waller. I'll stick with Kyle Pitts. Y'all can have Tim Tebow. All right, we get a clip out of here from training camp of Russell Gage. Now, this is kind of what we were saying is a better narrative to track than Calvin Ridley moving from the 2 to the 1. That is Russell Gage moving from the 3 to the 2. We were a little concerned about his production against the number 2 corners when Julio Jones is out. So Calvin Ridley goes to the 1, Russell Gage goes to the 2, and we were a little concerned with the overall production when he was going against the 2s. He did kind of get it figured out a little bit later at the end of the season when he had about 4 straight games of playing the 2, and he was able to kind of get decent production at the last 2 games of the year, so that is a little promising. But then we get this catch right here. There's no defense on him, unfortunately, but it's just a great one-handed snag out of the air, 2 feet down on the sideline for an official catch right here. So we want to get big on Russell Gage because we want to get big on this Falcons team. We're already big on Kyle Ridley. We're already big on Kyle Pitts. We're semi-decent on Matt Ryan. This is really going to be a make it or break it, prove it year for this man. But overall, if Russell Gage can be an absolutely great number 2 wide receiver, then you got 3 A1 tier 1 pass catchers and Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, and Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is already A1 tier 1. Calvin Ridley is already A1 tier 1. It's just Russell Gage is a little bit of a question mark, but this catch in training camp right here, absolutely magnificent. Let's watch this one more time. Let's try to get a nice freeze frame in here. Ooh, yeah, right there. Look at that. Elevation off the ground, literal one-handed catch. Look at that. He's looking straight at the ball. Great concentration, great ball awareness, and a great snag. One-handed out of the air. Absolutely fantastic. Whew, fantastic. So hopefully that's good signs to come from Russell Gage out here. We need him to be absolutely great. All right, last story to go over. We got another top 5 from training camp by Albert Breer, this time the 49ers. So let's see what he's saying. Let's see what he's looking for and what he's seeing in training camp. And let's see what we should be looking for from this 49ers team. So here we go. Takeaway number 1. They see the defensive line back at that 2019 level. D Ford's finally healthy, and additions like Arden Key and Mo Hurst have bolstered depth. And Bosa looks like Bosa. Joey Bosa, absolutely fantastic out there. So this 49ers team, let's see. We can go up to their season stats. I want to see how many sacks they got in 2019. What is that 2019 year that we should be looking for? So let's go here. We can bring this up quickly. 49ers by year, get them up, and see what they were doing defensively in 2019. All right, here we go. Defensive stats, 2019. All right, here we go. Where was the 49ers at? They had a top 8 defense. That's how many sacks that they had. Got sack numbers up here. They should have sacks up here. Do they not have sacks up here? They don't have sacks up here? What is that? How do y'all not have sack numbers? Okay, that's not great. I thought we were going to get some sack numbers. I'm going to have to look forward to it a little differently. All right, let's go to here. If we can't bring it up quickly, we'll forget about it, but give me one more thing to try and look at. I just wanted to see where they were in relation to the other teams defensively in the sack column, but they did have a top 8 defense. That's still real solid. All right, here we go. They were second in yards allowed. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, what about sacks? We get sack numbers somewhere? Sack numbers are a big deal. Why is nobody bringing up sack numbers? What is that about? Ugh. Defense and fumbles, defensive sacks. We got anything sacks already. They don't even add them up for us. Fred Warner had 3 sacks. We had DeForest Buckner with 7.5. We had Eric Armstead with 10 sacks that season. Oh my goodness. We had Nick Bosa with 9. Holy moly. 1 with 9, 1 with 10, 1 with 6.5. D4 with 6.5 sacks. Jeez. Yeah, okay. This is a sack machine team right there. Jeez. I mean, I think we're counting 30 just right off of quick, simple math. Even more than 30. I'll say 40. Damn. All right. We're going to put it at 40 sacks last year. Fantastic. Or in 2019. So, if they're looking back at that sack count in 2019, watch out for them. Arden Key, D Ford, Mo Hurst, Joey Bosa, all coming at it for the sack. So Joey Bosa had 10 in 2019. D Ford had what? What do we say? 6.5 or 9? One of the two. Absolutely fantastic. D Ford had 6.5. So that's 16 sacks between those two players. Absolutely great. All right, takeaway number 2. Jason Verrett's been outstanding. The long injury-addled cornerbacks finally playing fearlessly. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to bring up Jason Verrett's cornerback stats because he didn't play last season because of the injury. Did he play in any games last season? Oh, he did play in a couple of games. All right, Jason Verrett, let's see what he was doing last season against some cornerbacks. Here we go. Against, who do we got? Who's good? Devontae Parker, 1 of 3 for 6 yards. That's a lockdown. Robert Woods, 3 of 9 for 14 yards, 3 pass breakups and a pick. Oh, my God, got him on that one. Against DK Metcalf, 7 of 8 for 47 yards. That's a lockup. Against Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 6 of 7. We got burned here for 116 yards. All right, that's his only burn of the entire year, folks. Against Michael Thomas, 5 of 8 for 39 yards and a pass breakup. Great there. Against Stephon Diggs, 8 of 9 for 85 yards and a pass breakup. Little slight burn right there. Against Terry McLaurin, 2 of 6 for 24 yards, a pass breakup and a pick. Great. Against DeAndre Hopkins, 8 of 12 for 44 yards and 2 pass breakups. That's great. And against DK Metcalf, round 2, 5 of 8 for 32 yards. Oh, my God. Jason Verrett, folks. Woof, woof. Jason Verrett's been outstanding. The long injury-addled cornerbacks finally playing fearlessly, and he was great last season, so watch out for Jason Verrett, folks. Jeez Louise, that's fantastic. Okay, we can get big. We're big on the rushers. We're big on the corners now, folks. We are buying into this 49ers team. Let's get it. Here we go. Takeaway number 3. Wide receiver needs to shake out, but Deebo Samuel's in better shape than he has been, and Brandon Ayuk's taking a step. Dark horse at the spot, Trent Sherfield. So we're big on Brandon Ayuk. I think that's solid. Deebo Samuel's also solid, so they're looking for number 3, and Brandon Ayuk is getting better. Love it. All right. Takeaway number 4. Fred Warner, but a big question mark is who will be the third linebacker with Flanagan, Alshire, and Griffith among those flashing. Alrighty, so good at the linebacker core, just kind of shoring up with the last piece remaining. And then takeaway number 5, competition's very healthy at quarterback. Staff really likes where Jimmy Garoppolo's at, but it's hard to miss how impressive Trey Lance is. I saw a throw Wednesday where he rolled left, flicked it to his right. I had no clue the ball was going. Defenders everywhere, hit Ayuk between the ones. So great there by Trey Lance, and that's all we've been hearing. We've been hearing great things from Trey Lance, and we've been hearing absolutely great things by Justin Fields. Andy Dalton is a little bit easier of a quarterback to beat out for a starting job than Jimmy Garoppolo, just because Jimmy Garoppolo's been to a Super Bowl. Andy Dalton's been nowhere near a Super Bowl, can barely get winning seasons, and Jimmy Garoppolo's, great when he's healthy. So, we'll see which rookie quarterback start, because it seems like at this point, no rookie quarterback is slated to start. Trevor Lawrence really isn't slated to start. It's an open quarterback competition there. Justin Fields isn't. Trey Lance still isn't. And Mac Jones isn't either. So what the hell are we doing here? Last year we had last year we actually only had one. It was just Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert didn't start till week 2. And Tua didn't start till like week 3 or 4. So real interesting there. So we'll see how this season goes. Interesting. So that's the 5 takeaways from the 49ers. Kind of sold us a little bit. We're loving Jason Verrett, and if this defensive line can get back to that 2019 level, we'll take that all day as well. So 49ers, folks, let's get big on them. All right. Let's talk about the preseason game from last night. Let's see if they put the Game Pass footage up yet. I doubt they did. Here we go. I mean, it says it right here, folks. Full replay of the game. The full game will be available 2 to 4 hours after the game ends. It's been like 13. What are we doing? So let's just watch some highlights here. We're going to go over this quickly just because, like we said, it is preseason, the first preseason game, the extra preseason game, blah, blah, blah. But let's go over some stats just quickly. All right, the Cowboys quarterbacks, they put out Garrett Gilbert, who went 9 of 13 for 104 yards. Ben DiNucci, 7 of 17 for 89 yards. He did have a pick, unfortunate. And Cooper Rush, 8 of 13 for 70 yards, no touchdown. The Cowboys just were not scoring touchdowns yesterday, unfortunately. Steelers quarterbacks, they had Mason Rudolph out there, 6 of 9 for 84 yards. He was not looking great. I mean, all these quarterbacks were looking absolutely bad, folks. Hopefully we can see it in the highlights. It was like nobody was stepping into these throws. I don't know. Dwayne Haskins went 8 of 13 for 54 yards. He wasn't looking that great either. And Joshua Dobbs, 4 of 6 for 37 yards. He did throw a passing touchdown, so give him credit for that. All right, the rushers for the Cowboys. Tony Pollard looked good. He only had 2 rushes for only 9 yards, but it was still real solid what we saw from him real early on, and we do know he's kind of running back number 2 here behind Ezekiel Elliott. So Rico Dowdle for the Cowboys, 8 carries for 43 yards. Ben DiNucci ran for 34 yards. It was a big kind of first down pickup. Brandon Knox, 4 of 12. So nothing real great rushing for the Cowboys. And then for the Steelers, Najee Harris, 7 carries for 22 yards. He led the team. Everything else wasn't really that great rushing the ball. Kellen Balaj had 5 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown. That was real solid. Jalen Samuels had 11 carries for 20 yards. That wasn't really that great. So just overall, nobody doing that great rushing the ball. Chase Claypool, 3 receptions for 62 yards. That was a big pass down the left side of the field. Hopefully we can see that in the highlights. And then that was really it for the Steelers. And then for the Cowboys, nobody really starting out there. No Amari Cooper, no CeeDee Lamb. It was really just all the kind of 3rd, 4th string wide receivers out here for the Cowboys. But Simi Fehoko, who we want to see, we're kind of big on him. That's one of the narratives that we are watching for this Cowboys team in the training camp is how does Simi Fehoko look out there? We want to see this man good. He's kind of our dark horse in the draft, but he had a little bit of a bad night. Only 2 targets. He had 1 reception for 4 yards. And the other reception that he didn't catch, he really didn't get any separation against the corner that was on him. So we didn't really love that. So let's just quickly watch some highlights here. See if anything stands out, anything just kind of jogs our memory and just see what we can see. We want to watch the top plays from the Steelers, top play from the Cowboys, and then we can also see every Dwayne Haskins pass and run. So once again, we can try and track Dwayne Haskins a little bit. He wants to make it a quarterback battle for the number 2 job for the Steelers. I guess Mason Rudolph's trash. So let's just see what we get here. Let's start here with the Steelers' top plays. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Play number 1 is just on the goal line right there, and they're able to sack the quarterback on 2nd and goal. Like we said, the final score of the game, 16-3. The Cowboys, they were able to get into the red zone sometimes, but I believe they missed a field goal, and they got kind of just I picked off as well, right, in the end zone as well. So just nothing really great from this Cowboys team offensively. All right, here we go. The Steelers defense really just making the plays. I mean, when you hold the team to only 3 points, it's really just going to be the defense doing everything. Let's see if we can get to any offense here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the Chase Claypool catch right here, which was absolutely great. Now, let's watch the throw here by Mason Rudolph. So here we go. 3rd and 4, Mason Rudolph not even really stepping into the throw. Once again, what is going on with these quarterbacks not stepping into these throws? Everyone's like flat-footed and just kind of using their arm. I mean, here it is. He doesn't step into it, but it does get there. Chase Claypool dives for the catch. You see him bounce heavy on the ground, and that's where we believe kind of the injury was, just kind of getting his breath taken away, and then he was fine after. Oh, and this is the pass here by Simi Fehoko that he dropped right here. I'm glad that we're seeing this. Unfortunately, we can't play this in slow-mo, can we? No, unfortunately. And this is why we hate the NFL.com website, is because whenever you just freaking move your mouse over the screen, it goes gray, so it's harder to see. But here we go. Semi Fehoko. It's going to be the next play, I believe. So that's a great fumble there by the defense of the Steelers. Once again, just forcing takeaways. They forced a couple of them last night. Fantastic. Taking opportunities out of the Cowboys' hands. You love to see it. Did I pass it? Where'd it go? All right, here it is. Okay, it's gonna be the next play after this one. Just we'll track Semi Fehoko. Here we go again. Chase Claypool, absolute magnificent catch right there. All right, but here we go. Semi Fehoko lined up right here. He's number 81, corner right on him, about 5 yards off the line. Semi Fehoko going inside in the corner is right on him, and he just doesn't really catch the ball, kind of off of his fingertips a little bit, almost a pick as well. Truly unfortunate by that man. Really would have loved to see that man kind of get some great separation and do real good. All right, what else do we get here by the Steelers? Anything good? They get a blocked punt right here. Another mistake, or well, I was wrong on that. They get the punt off. Let's see the return. That must be a good return. Here we go. Catches it from his own 30. Going to bring it to the 40, up the right sideline, up the 50, 40, and just gets brought down. So over midfield, solid right there. Anything good? Anything else? I think that might be it. All right, so that's all right. Let's see what they get here in the red zone. Mason Rudolph, boom, hitting a wide receiver. I thought this was a tight end live, and I was about to tweet out tight end university, but it is just wide receiver Tyler Simmons. All right, those are all really the highlights that we wanted to really show. Nothing really great by Najee Harris, just because everything was like 3 yards. Never had that big gainer, so he's not in the highlight film. Let's see what we get for the Cowboys here. Anything really good? They only put up 3 points. They got 9 minutes of top Cowboys plays. What the hell? Steelers only had 5 minutes. Jeez, I'm not going to watch all 9 minutes of this. We can move off of this. I mean, these quarterbacks here for the Cowboys, just nothing good. Once again, not throwing off of his foot. I mean, not stepping into these throws. I mean, let's just watch this throw right here. Watch the quarterback right here. Let's see. Does he step into this throw? That was a step in. We'll give him credit for that one. Right over the middle of the field. Great strike right there. Fantastic. Alrighty. Let's watch Dwayne Haskins now. Obviously, nothing great here from the highlights. So here we go. Dwayne Haskins, every run and pass. How is old Dwayne looking out here? Play number 1, a pass over the middle to the check down of the running back, wide receiver, whoever leaked out of the backfield, and it's good for 8-9 yards for the first down. Give him credit. Here we go. Play number 2, drops back to pass. Sidearm tries to hit the receiver at the line of scrimmage, and it wasn't accurate, and it bounces right off the wide receiver's hands, and it falls incomplete. Once again, Dwayne Haskins not stepping into that throw and just kind of sidearms it. Here we go. Play number 3, stepping up into the pocket for a 3, 4, 5 yard gain potentially, and he slides down and not taking the hit. Next play up, we get the 3rd and 5 after that slide down. Can they pick up the first here? 3rd and 5, drops back to pass. Once again, isn't really stepping into this throw, just kind of using his sheer arm talent, and it gets to the wide receiver 2 yards beyond the first down marker, but the defense has great coverage on it, and it breaks it up. Dwayne Haskins taking a knee. That's one of the plays for halftime. 3-0 at halftime. All the points for the Steelers coming in the second half, like we said earlier in the show. All right, here we go. Play action. And then he hits the tight end leaking out, and he picks up the first down. Great job there by Dwayne Haskins. Here we go. In the red zone from the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. A speed out to the right, trying to hit the wide receiver on the right side of the hash, and he misses him. Just bad accuracy by Dwayne Haskins there. All right, here we go. Stepping up into the pocket, able to deliver the ball for like a 3-yard gain on the left side, able to avoid the hits. Once again, just nothing great here by Dwayne Haskins. He's really not looking good. Not stepping into any of these throws right here. Just got it off to the running back out of the backfield, but it falls short, a yard short for the first down. What else do we get? Dwayne Haskins going deep. That's not a bad ball right there. Gave his receiver a chance to go up and get it, or a chance to catch the ball. No chance at a pick, no chance at a breakup. So not a bad shot taken down there about 30 yards down the field on the left sideline. All right, another check down here to number 14. Who is that? McLeod? Is that Ray McLeod? All right, anything else here? How many more plays we got? Dwayne Haskins truly not looking good out here. Next play up, we got like 2 more left. Just once again, not stepping into the pocket. I know and then the wide receiver fumbles. That man, number 83, is gone as well. But Dwayne Haskins, I know the pocket is getting pushed into you, but you can't just flat-footedly throw all these balls. I mean, these are, once again, right here. I mean, and these receivers are not great. Obviously, you're with like the third and fourth and fifth strings out here, and Dwayne Haskins is not making it easy for these people to catch the ball. So Dwayne Haskins still not looking good. That's the end of the highlights. Thank goodness. I'm over Dwayne Haskins. I'm so over Dwayne Haskins, folks. After last year with the Washington team, Dwayne Haskins is a bust. He's trash. He's a bust. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. So all the quarterbacks last night were absolutely trash, like you would expect in a preseason game. So that was a preseason game. The only good thing from last night is that we hit the Steelers -2. We'll take that to the bank, baby. All right, we got a couple minutes left in the show, so we can start a NFL team refresher, and then we can finish it tomorrow in a part 2. But we do have to, start getting on this horse a little bit. We've covered, how many teams have we covered so far? 6 teams. We got the Lions going 2-15, the Saints going 6-11, the Broncos going 10-7, the Falcons going 11-6, the Raiders going 10-7, and Washington going 9-7 with the ceiling of 13-4. Now, we spin the wheel. We do a random team every single day here. Team refresher, see what they did last season, see what they did in the offseason, who do they pick up, who do they draft, who do they lose, what is their schedule looking like this year as we walk through and see how many wins we can give them. So let's spin the wheel and let's see what team we get, and let's see what team we will do for today for our team refresher. So here we go. Wheel is spinning, wheel is slowing down, and today's team is, the Tennessee Titans. Alrighty. So obviously we got to start with our man Derrick Henry, King Henry, one of our canvases this year. Look how great that is, folks. But Derrick Henry, obviously the best player on this Falcons team. It's not Ryan Tannehill. It's not A.J. Brown. It's not Julio Jones. It's Derrick mother-loving Henry. Do we got to remind y'all what he did last season, folks? Because that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Here we go. Led the team in rushes, led the league in rushes, led the league in rushing yards, led the team in rushing touchdowns. Folks, he's done that the last 2 seasons. Folks, give this man credit. So last season, 378 rushes for 2,027 yards in 17 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 5.4 yards a carry, the best of his career. This is what we've been saying, folks. He's been getting better every single year, so we expect him to break the record this year. Year 1, he only rushed for 490 yards. Year 2, he rushed for 744 yards. Year 3 is when he started to start the entire year, so he breaks 1,000 yards. Year 3, 1,059 yards. Year 4, with a full year 1 under his belt of starting. Year 4, 1,540 yards. Led the team in rushing that year. And then just last season, 2,027 yards. Folks, he's been getting 500 yards better every single season. 500 yards better every single season. How crazy. So expect 2,500 rushing yards from this man this season, folks. Breaking the record, truly cementing him as the greatest running back of all time. So that's Derrick Henry, folks. He's fantastic. We don't have to worry about the Titans' running game. Now let's look at Ryan Tannehill, because he is a game manager. We call him an above-average game manager passing the ball. Let's get his numbers up. He's not a 4,000-yard passer out here. Only 3,000 yards last season, 3,800, which is a little below what our mark is. Our standard is 4,000 yards if you kind of want to be highly regarded as kind of a top quarterback in this league. He had 65% completion percentage last season, which is still really solid. That's right in our ballpark of what we're looking for, so we're fine with that. And then the touchdown to interception ratio is absolutely fantastic. 33 passing touchdowns last season and only 7 interceptions. So, I mean, we're talking close to like 5-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and we'll get behind that all day. So great job by Ryan Tannehill last season of just being that game manager. You've got a great running back to rely on. You don't need Ryan Tannehill throwing for 4,000, 4,500, 5,000 yards. You just need to be, a little bit of an above-average game manager. And when you've got great wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Corey Davis the last 2 seasons, it makes it easier for Ryan Tannehill. And that's what Ryan Tannehill can do. He doesn't really elevate Tier 2 wide receivers, but if you have Tier 1 wide receivers, Ryan Tannehill has no problem getting them the ball, and that's reflected in the great completion percentage that we've seen the last 2 seasons. 2019, when he took over the starting role for the Titans in 10 games starting, he threw 70%. Because once once again, you have A.J. Brown and Corey Davis last season playing all 16 games, having two great wide receivers, going and throwing 65% completion percentage because you've got two great wide receivers. Now they lose Corey Davis to the Jets. Unfortunate, great for the Jets. Unfortunate for the Titans. But who do they go and bring in? Julio Jones. Fantastic. So you just traded. I mean, I'm ready to put Corey Davis in maybe potential A1 wide receiver core right there. And Julio Jones, there's no debate. The man is A1 when he's healthy, and that's the only knock that we have on Julio Jones. Can he stay healthy? Let's look at how many games he's missed over the last couple of seasons just to kind of get a gauge of what we could maybe be expecting of Julio Jones' injury and potentially being out for X amount of games. So let's get Julio Jones' stats up here. And let's see how many games he missed. I think he missed a solid 6 or 7 last season. Oh, even worse. He only started 9 games last season. So missed, 7 games last year? Not the greatest. Now, he didn't miss that many games the other kind of years. I thought he kind of missed a couple of more games throughout the years. But in 2019, he played in 15 games, only missed 1. 2018, he played in all of them. 2017, he played in all of them. And then 2016, he only played in 14. So he's only really missed, besides last season, over the last kind of 5 years, he's missed 1, 2, 3, 4 games. It's just last year he missed 7. So big injury to him last year. And I mean, these yards just speak for themselves, folks. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight 1,000 plus yard receiving seasons. He led the league in receiving yards in 2015 with 1,871. He led the league in receiving yards in 2018 with 1,677. So we've got a league-leading rusher in Derrick Henry, multiple years. We've got a league-leading receiver in Julio Jones for multiple years, all on the same team. Sheesh, folks, sheesh. This team offensively could be absolutely loaded. It's going to be hard to stop it, folks. How do you stop all this great talent? Let's bring up A.J. Brown's yards because he is we've been hearing and tracking Julio Jones coming into this mix. How does he fit? How does his role fit here with the Titans? Is he going to be the number 1? Is he going to be number 2? But we've heard it's all coming along together. Julio Jones is like, this is not a 1-2 punch. This is a 1-1 punch because A.J. Brown's got it. I don't need it. A.J. Brown's number 11. I'll choose a new number. I don't need to be the number 1 wide receiver. That's fine. He can keep that. So there's great chemistry right here, and Julio Jones is not taking anything away from what this Titans team does so well, and not trying to make it all about him. And that's why we can truly buy this Titans team, because everyone's just buying into the winning. We just want to win. A.J. Brown just wants to win. Julio Jones just wants to win. I don't want my jersey number. I don't want to be the number 1. I don't want to, it's not a 1-2 punch. Him saying it's a 1-1 punch, folks, I mean, how great is that? Him and A.J. Brown, it's a 1-1 punch, folks. There is no tier 2s on this team. Everybody is just tier 1. So let's get up A.J. Brown stats real quick. See what he's been doing for the Titans team the last couple of seasons. Here we go. A.J. Brown. Last season, I mean, folks, he's right out of the gate going into year 3. First 2 years, back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving season. So you got to give that up for him. He's 6 foot, solid height right there. Catch percentage is solid. Would like to see it increase a little bit more as we kind of get into year 3. 62% catch percentage year 1, 66 catch percentage year 2. Solid numbers, but would like to see him up a little bit more here. Like to see kind of high 60s, like 68, 9, low 70s, 71, 71, 72. So we'll see if A.J. Brown can kind of increase that and see what he can do. But overall, just the weapons-wise, this Titans team is absolutely fantastic. Now, let's talk about their new offensive coordinator, because we know they lose Arthur Smith. Was Arthur Smith the success here for this Titans team? Because he was their offensive coordinator for the last 2 years, and this Titans team was getting it done the last 2 years. Made it to the playoffs both of those years. Made it to the AFC Championship game in 2019. Let's just check. What did they do last year? How far did they make it last year? Did they lose in the first playoff game? I think they did. So let's get that up, and then we'll go into the offensive coordinator and see what they have been doing. Their new offensive coordinator. So here we go. Last season, the Titans lost in the wild card round. How unfortunate. They lost to the Ravens 13-20. Unfortunate. And that's just something that we've been seeing by Ryan Tannehill. He's not able to really get it done in the playoffs. I mean, when we look at that when we go back to the 2019 season where they lost in the conference finals, we can go here. They win 20-13 against the Patriots that season. Ryan Tannehill, let's look up his numbers. 8 of 15 for 72 yards, a touchdown and an interception. It's all Derrick Henry, who rushed for 182 yards that game. Then we go to the divisional round in 2019. Once again, they win 28-12. A little bit of a better scoring outcome there, but let's see what Ryan Tannehill did. 7 of 14 for 88 yards and 2 touchdown passes. But I mean, only 88 yards passing? What are we doing? 50% completion percentage, while Derrick Henry goes and rushes for 195 yards. So Derrick Henry is obviously the main focal point of this offense. Then they get in the conference championship game against the Chiefs, and we know the Chiefs can put up big numbers. They put up 35 points, and with running the ball, you eat up the clock. You don't really have a lot of time to put up 35 points. So Ryan Tannehill has to pass the ball a little bit more, and that's where we see him flounder. 21 of 31 for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. It seems like it's good, but it still comes up just short. Only able to put up 24 yards, getting blown out kind of by 11 points. Derrick Henry only rushes for 69 yards and a touchdown. So Ryan Tannehill, when you ask him to kind of go and get it done in the big game, he kind of flounders at the biggest game. Can't get it to the Super Bowl. AFC Championship game seems to be like his ceiling, and that's why we call him an above average game manager, because if you're an A1 tier 1 quarterback in this league, you can go out and single-handedly win the championship games, getting to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. We classify Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Big Ben as kind of these A1 tier 1 quarterbacks in this league. Ryan Tannehill, he's an above average game manager. So we'll see what Ryan Tannehill's ceiling is, and we'll see what this new offensive coordinator for this Titans can do. So let's get his name up and what his history is, because they don't have Arthur Smith anymore. They lost him to the Falcons, who he is now their new head coach. So here we go, the Titans' new offensive coordinator. Let's get that up, and then we'll track his coaching history. Alrighty, we got Todd Downing. Let's see what Todd Downing has been doing here. Todd Downing coaching history. Let's see what he's been looking at. Here we go. Alrighty. He's been with the Titans for the last 2 seasons as a tight ends coach. So he still knows the team a little bit out there. So that's good. He was a tight ends coach, working with the tight ends, getting passes from Ryan Tannehill. So he's, decently comfortable with Ryan Tannehill's skill set. This overall team's just overall skill set. He got here in 2019. That's when kind of, the great success for the Titans really started to take off ever since they moved off of Marcus Mariota. RIP to him. Unfortunate. But Ryan Tannehill's been coming in, doing what he needs to do to get this team wins and playoff appearances, and that's all you could ask for. So solid here. We'll see what he could do. Let's go back to his history. He got to the league in 2003. He was with the Vikings for his first 3 years in 2003 to 2005. Football systems analysis for the first 2 years, and offensive quality control. Then he went to the Rams for 3 seasons. He was in a defensive special teams assistant for the first 2 years, then got upgraded to defensive quality control. So he knows the offensive side and he knows the defensive side a little bit. Then he goes to the Lions for 3 years, offensive quality control, assistant quarterbacks coach. And oh, look at this. This is going to be great. And then he went for the Lions. He was the quarterback's coach for 3 years from 2011 to 2013. So he knows quarterbacks. He knows how to elevate and coach quarterbacks, and that's going to help out Ryan Tannehill a lot, hopefully. Then he goes to the Bills, a quarterback's coach. Then he goes to the Raiders, quarterback's coach for 2 years. Then he goes to the offensive coordinator for the Raiders in 2017. Let's get up what they were doing in 2017. First year, is this his only year as an offensive coordinator? Yeah, so what was he doing here? What was this Raiders offense like in 2017? Alrighty. They were 23rd in points. Not greatest. Number 7, they were 17th in offensive yards with 5,100. The passing game was 16th in yards, 16th in touchdowns, 20th in interceptions. I think that's good because you want to be lower in interceptions. 14 interceptions. That may be a little bit too high. Rushing, 25th in yards, 30th in attempts. All right, well, now you have Derrick Henry, so you're going to want to get your rushing team really up to par. They were 11th in rushing touchdowns. Who was the rusher here for the Raiders in 2017? Marshawn Lynch. So you had an already established running back in Marshawn Lynch, yet you didn't utilize him a lot. That's real interesting. You had Derek Carr and you trusted him over Marshawn Lynch. I'm not trusting Ryan Tannehill over Derrick Henry here. So hopefully he's learned this Titan system a little bit better than he was learning this Raiders system, because that's a little interesting that they really didn't run the ball that much, and you had Marshawn Lynch, beast mode Money Lynch. Come on, you're not going to use him? I'm using Money Lynch, and Money Lynch and Derrick Henry are kind of similar run styles, physical, up the hole, not shying away from contact. So we'll see. I'm not kind of sold on the offensive coordinator Todd Downing just quite yet. So as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, what was the wins that year for him? They went 6-10, unfortunate. And then he goes to the Vikings for 1 year as an offensive assistant. Let's see what this Vikings offense was like. He's an assistant here in 2018 for the Vikings. They go 8-7-1. What was the offense like here? They were 19th in points, 20th in yards overall. Passing, they were 13th in passing yards. That's not bad. 10th in passing touchdowns. That's pretty good. 8th in interceptions. That's actually good. You want to be a little bit higher. So passing game, once again, good. Running game lacked. 30th in rushing yards. 27th in rushing touchdowns. Who was the rusher in 2018? Was it Dalvin Cook? Because if it's Dalvin Cook and you're 30th in rushing yards, what are we doing? And it was Dalvin Cook. You only made Dalvin Cook rush for 615 yards? What is that about? Is that his first year? Was he a rookie that year? No, second year in the league. So what are we doing? All right, I'm kind of out on Todd Downing. I don't think this is a great look for him overall. And then he went to the tight ends coach for the Titans in 2019, 2020, and then an offensive coordinator for this season. So this could be not the greatest here. This could be not the greatest offense here. Maybe a little bit of a step back. Maybe not as good as Arthur Smith was the last 2 years for this Titans team. But like we said, only time will tell. And he was able to kind of sit and learn and see what this Titans team was doing the last 2 seasons. All right, before we move off of Todd Downing, he was the tight ends coach the last 2 seasons. So let's see what the Titans tight ends were doing these last 2 seasons, because I don't think they were getting any big play. So in 2019, we got who are these? McCoyle Pruitt and Jonnu Smith. We all know Jonnu Smith, but Jonnu Smith only caught for 439 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a little underwhelming in this new era of tight ends. Jonnu Smith went to tight end university. He's not on the roster anymore. It's now with the Patriots. But I mean, tight ends were really making their case, their names known the last 3-4 years. So Jonnu Smith not getting a lot of burn in 2019 is a little bit of a, once again, a solid medium red flag, like all these other kind of, being bad offensively in the running game when, he was the offensive coordinator or the offensive assistant. Let's see what the Titans were like with their tight ends just last season when once again, he was their tight ends coach. So we got Jonnu Smith, once again, just 448 yards. That's it. He had 8 touchdowns, a little bit better, but why are we not getting this man close to like 1,000 yards? Why are we not getting this man 600, 700, 800 yards? Why are we maxing out at 400 yards? So a little interesting there. Now I believe they got new tight ends. Let's get up their depth chart, because you're not going to have Jonnu Smith out there anymore. Who do they got to work with the tight ends now? We've got Anthony Fursker, and we've been hearing some good things about him. He just had 387 yards last season. So solid there. Alrighty. So that's their offensive coordinator, Todd Downing. Can we get behind this man? I'm liking everything else. I like the quarterback. I believe in Ryan Tannehill. He's an above-average game manager. We can buy into him because he doesn't need to go out there and single-handedly win the games by himself. The defense helps. The offensive line helps. Having great wide receivers helps. And then, obviously, the greatest running back of all time, Derrick Henry, he definitely helps out a lot. So I can buy into Ryan Tannehill for what he is. Fantastic. I can definitely buy into the two wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I've got no problem with that. And then y'all already know we buy into Derrick Henry, folks. We talk about that man every day. So the offense pieces, the offensive weapons we can get behind. Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator, that is a little bit of a question mark and a little bit of a red flag so far. So I think we're going to leave it here for part one of our NFL team refresher on the Titans going into the season. Tomorrow we'll wrap it up in part two, see what they lost overall, see what they gained overall, see where their offensive line was at, ranked last season, and then we'll walk through their schedule and their draft and see how many wins we can give them this year. Todd Downing, I don't know if I buy into him. I'm a little concerned about this man. So far, this is the biggest concern that we have. Is that a good thing? Kinda, only one big concern so far, but it's at the offensive coordinator spot, and you got to be putting up points, and this man doesn't really put up points as we've been seeing. So we'll see how aggressive he calls this offensive scheme this year for the Titans, and we'll see what pre-games are looking like for him, preseason games are looking like. But that's going to do it for us for part one of our Titans team refresher. Alrighty, we're going to be out of here for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, where we will do it all over again and wrap up part two of our Titans team refresher. Has there been anything breaking? Lamar Jackson has finally been activated off of the COVID-19 list. Thank goodness. Anything else breaking news-wise? Does not appear so. So, we will see you tomorrow, folks. We are out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We're back tomorrow. We're here every single day, folks. You don't have to worry about us not being here. We will be here. Alrighty. Josh Allen just got paid? Oh, Josh Allen just got paid. That's the big news. Woo! Sheesh! Oh my God. 6 years, $258 million, $150 million guaranteed. Woo! Hey, he was great last year. That's $258 million money right there. I'll give him that. Can he keep it up? It's gonna be yet to be determined. Only time will tell. Hopefully, he didn't just swindle this Bills team. I don't think he did. I think he's the real deal, but only time will tell. $250 million. Woof! Woof! Man, oh man, quarterback's getting paid out here now, folks. You love to see it. Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson's primed up next. We'll see what he gets. But Josh Allen getting paid. Fantastic. All right, we'll leave it off here, folks. Josh Allen just got paid. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth tomorrow on the show. So we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back tomorrow, folks.